Welcome to Talk Tech with Rob Scott.
Welcome to Talk Tech with Rob Scott. I'm your host, Rob Scott, and I'm here in Orlando at the IT Nation Connect, interviewing a lot of guests during this week. And on this episode, we're going to introduce you to two of my favorite people in the channel. We're going to talk to Steve from RYTHMz. I met Steve as part of the Pitch It contest. He's the CEO of a redundant 5G wireless box that you could take anywhere. You can light up concerts, you can light up events, you can light up food courts, which is one of the use cases he's going to tell us about today. And I'm also going to have on the show today my friend Rick Rudolph from MSP Beans. As you guys know, I love as-a-service businesses. You know, Monger is a legal service that's cloud-based and turned into a subscription. And my friend Rick Rudolph from MSP Beans has taken a similar concept and turned traditional bookkeeping services into an as-a-service model. And so you're going to hear from both of those guys today on Talk Tech Live with Rob Scott. Thank you.
You know, I've hung out with you so much, and I've always had a good time. I've never been on your show. I'm very excited I'm very happy you're here. And as you know, we just finished the Pitch It contest.
We did.
And you also know that my vote for Pitch It contest winner was your company, RYTHMz.
Really?
Wi-Fi as a service, cool box, goes anywhere, light up any event, any party, any concert, any conference with super redundant Wi-Fi. Tell the audience about RYTHMz.
Well, RYTHMz was born as an interesting thing. We did a Beverly Hills, also part of a vodka company. We did a Beverly Hills piece where we did this big party. The wide area network went down. And my boss said, fix it. So I went to go look at these, buy these. We're talking $20,000 for some of these different pieces. They're rent for $1,800 a day. And I just went, you know what? I'm going to build it. So I grabbed my Dremel, went in my garage, and we built it. Then we were really doing events and doing different pieces. We've done Chainsmokers, Tiesto, did some pretty big concerts. And then a buddy of mine's, I used to own an MSP, and a friend of mine that had taken over one of my old clients, who's still a friend as well, they had a fiber sniffing backhoe, and it went down and took the fiber out. They were going to get it repaired for 3 weeks. And then he calls me and he's like, what are we going to do? And I go, you know what? Why don't you use one of the boxes? I haven't been able to get that box back from the MSP. And I went, I think we're onto something. So February last year, we're officially 9 months, 2 weeks old. We launched, came out, joined Pitch It with you. You were one of my favorites. I liked your product, by the way. And then as we went through it, just been blowing up.
And it's so exciting.
It's a lot of fun.
It's so exciting. And what amazes me about your product is the simplicity of it, the number of use cases that exist for it. But basically, in essence, you're offering a solution that's basically a redundant 5G wireless box that a service provider can bring, can rent out, can use for promotional purposes, can sell it to their customers, can put it in the back of their RV. I mean, it just seems like the sky's the limit as far as use case.
We call it taking back the cloud for a reason, because everything's out on the cloud, right? ERP systems. And when I left, it wasn't like that, right? Now everything's out there. Connectivity is key. So what we do is we bond 3 different carriers together. So we're carrier redundant, number one. Number two, it's unlimited bandwidth. So I was actually at a 5G conference. I had 4 other companies that are doing very similar to me. And they're like, how did you get that? And I'm like, well, I flew to Seattle. I flew to Verizon. I went to AT&T in Dallas. And they're like, you went there? I'm like, yeah, and I got appointments, and we worked out how we do it. So bringing that in was key, because you can't have this redundant piece. You can't have redundancy and this piece if you don't have unlimited bandwidth. So we've got MSPs that are burning through 50 gigs a day on one of our boxes, or more. And as we do the redundant piece, it's really worked out. Cybersecurity incident response. It's really just, the greatest thing about coming back into this MSP community, I really love this, is they help us figure it out. They work with us to do that. And And I know you're like that with your company, always kind of working to figure that piece of it out, and a true partnership. And it's one of the few industries that really has that. And something I guess pulled me back in. I am dressed like Jay from Jay and Silent Bob because we did some funny stuff at ConnectWise at IT Nation. But today's going to be a great day. I'm looking forward to hanging out with you more.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to...
Here, I got the crew with me. Matt and Aaron from Monger are here as well. They'll be at the booth. And we're just going to have a good time tonight. Steve's company, RYTHMz, is also a sponsor of the MSP initiative. Those of you that know me know that I'm a supporter of that. And so we'll be partying with Flo Rida tonight.
A little bit.
All the way till 2 a.m. And one thing about the channel, Steve is one of those guys that has FOMO. So if there's a party, if there's still people at the bar, Steve will be there.
Somehow I'm there.
Yeah, Steve, one last question. Yes, I want to understand how redundant 5G wireless solutions compare to other solutions that are out there, for example, Starlink or maybe satellite-based systems. What's unique about the 5G Wi-Fi from maybe some of the other options that were available before RYTHMz hit the market?
So Starlink is good, and we can actually manage that within our box as well. Problem with Starlink, weather affects it. It can have different pieces there. If you don't have a clear line of sight, 5G kind of adds that. Truly, if you truly need a mission-critical internet, you need to do a regular physical web, a 5G box like ours, and Starlink. And you need to be able to manage it. So when we built this, when we were looking for how we we're going to do this, we were able to manage all of those connections with one piece. So it's not just 5G. Oh, well, let's manage this. And it's a real big difference when you go out to your client, the internet's down, you're like, hey, the internet's a little slow. I'm on with Cox Cable. And they're like, it's working fine. So a very big paradigm shift for MSPs when they grab it. And a lot of our partners that have grabbed it are really just starting to push. We're discovering a lot of cool stuff with those pieces. I'm excited about it.
That's awesome. And what's like the most unusual application or use case that you've seen so far?
I had a guy go out. It's my favorite story. Everybody laughs. It's my favorite story. There was a food truck, and food trucks gather in herds. So he took one of the boxes and he sold it to the food truck. And I was on the call with him. They said, they go, well, how often does it go down? Like how reliable is your internet? He goes, it works. It works, 3 out of 4 times. And I go, so out of 100 customers, 25 of them can't buy your product? And he goes, oh, wait. I go, wouldn't you like to have that be 95, maybe 99? Yeah, that would be great. So we got that. He sold it. Then the other food trucks bought into it as well. So now he's making $2,500 a weekend on one of our boxes. And he just goes around. He's like, I found 4 more.
Wi-Fi for the food truck court. That's really cool. RYTHMz is the coolest product I've seen come on the market in a long time.
Thank you.
I thought that RYTHMz should be the winner of the pitching contest. Redundant 5G in a box. What a great idea.
Thank you.
And congratulations to you, my friend.
Thanks, and congratulations to you. I can't wait to hang out with you a little bit later.
All right, brother.
All right, man.
Later.
Thanks.
Friend Rick Rudolph, welcome to the show.
Well, thanks, Rob. Thanks for having me.
It's my pleasure. For those of you guys who don't know Rick and I have been friends for a very long time. We started out as golfing buddies. Then he became a client of my firm many, many years ago. And more recently, we reconnected because his company, MSP Beans, is our bookkeeping provider. And as you guys know, I love as-a-service models. And so I want to hear from Rick about how he came up with the idea to start a bookkeeping-as-a-service business.
Well, Rob, thanks for teeing that up for me. Actually, this was kind of born out of necessity. I was told that I needed to be less busy so I could focus on other things in my life. And so I was told to fire things that I didn't need to do. And accounting and bookkeeping has always been a sweet spot for me because I'm a CPA, and it was just kind of a comfort place to be. But it wasn't really productive. It wasn't helping grow my core business, which at that time was being an MSP. And so I when I hired a CPA to do my own books, which is kind of an interesting thing to do. And ultimately, this person ended up having more time than he needed. And some peers of mine asked me to do their books. And so it was pretty quick to realize that this was a business model that could scale. And so now we're growing it. And it's been really exciting.
It is very exciting, Rick. And, it's also exciting and rewarding for me because I know that I was, talking to you about it, the beginning phases, and to see how quickly you rolled this out and ramped this up is really impressive. What have you learned in getting this thing going that maybe you weren't expecting to encounter when you started?
Well, that is an awesome question. What I have learned is MSPs are not bookkeepers or accountants. And you can call them books, but the state of affairs that we inherit as we pick up clients really varies. There are some that are pretty mature and really have things pretty organized, but mostly it's a mess. But getting from a mess to being all squared away is not that long a journey. And so we're walking a lot of people through that right now.
Well, and I would say that I'm one of those people. And I know that our books were not as tidy as they should have been when you got started, but I'm happy to report that they've never been more consistently maintained than they have been recently. And so just a credit to you and your team, really have made a huge difference. And what I know for me is that when my accounting is really good, I feel like I've got greater visibility into the business. I'm able to look at things and react to things more quickly, and I'm able to solve problems before they get too big. What are you seeing with your other clients about like this process of getting it cleaned up and then transitioning to a steady state? I imagine that can be difficult sometimes when you walk into a situation, you don't have a lot of history and things are a mess. What's your methodology for attacking that?
Well, first of all, I wouldn't say it's difficult. It's just time consuming. What I tell prospects when we speak to them is we have to eat the whole elephant. So we don't care where we start, whether it's accounts payable, accounts receivable, billing, payroll, whatever your challenges are, that's where we want to begin. And what we find, though, is we can rationalize most clients into a decent structure within 6 to 8 weeks. And what I would furthermore, I would say that clients, they're MSPs. And so bookkeeping is just a distraction for them. What we need to supply with them is a 6 or 7 KPIs that they need to keep their eyes on. Obviously, cash is king. But in addition to that, profit margins by different levels of service, or whether it's resale or managed services, whatever is really important to them. Once we supply that information, then they can act. They can make good decisions on good information.
Yeah, I think that the more I learn about as-a-service businesses, and I think part of the success of Monger is that, Monger's an as-a-service legal service where the lawyers and the documents are extremely good because of our 2 decades of experience and hundreds of engagements. Similarly for you, you're the perfect guy. You're like the knight in shining armor. You're a CPA by training. You've ran an MSP for 2+ decades and 3+ decades. And now you're starting a bookkeeping solution, leveraging affordable labor, managed and supervised by you with all that experience. I'm assuming that sales are going extremely well based on all of that. How are you getting your business now, and what kind of traction are you seeing? And is it mostly people you already have existing relationships with?
No, actually, we certainly, the first business was people we have relationships with. But now we're actively marketing new prospects. And frankly, the take rate's very high. It's really encouraging to me and gratifying to me. I'm probably towards the tail end of my career in this industry. And it's an opportunity to give back and teach people what I've learned. My hard knocks have not always been pretty. And so it's really been very rewarding for me. And I really look forward to every day. I have, 3 to 5 calls a day where we're talking to new prospects. And it's just a pleasure to talk to them and engage with them and hopefully help them.
That sounds really cool, Rick. I always, take some comfort in knowing that you're reviewing our books every week. If there's anything that you're concerned about, you bring it to our attention, and having that type of support is invaluable. What types of MSPs would be in your ideal client profile? I'm assuming some may be too small, some may be too big. What is it that you're finding is a sweet spot for MSP Beans, and what kind of clients are you looking for as you continue to grow the business?
What we're finding so far is that probably the lower limit is about $500,000 in annual revenue. And we have some clients that are over 10 million now. And most of the larger clients, we frankly don't take a complete role. We take a piece. It might be billing, it might be payables. We're open to any engagement where we can really provide value to the clients. Our model is that we don't hold our clients prisoners to long-term client contracts, and we really want to be long-term partners. And I hate the word partner, but that's really what we want to be. We want to facilitate something that is really not in MSP's core business, and it's something we're good at.
You are definitely good at it. And my partner, Julie, would encourage you to say trusted advisor instead of partner. But she's concerned about the F word, which is fiduciary.
Yeah, I don't like fiduciary. I'm all on board, with supporting whatever Julie thinks.
Yes, me too. That's how I've learned to stay working with her for over 2 decades. Well, what's happening for next year, Rick? We just finished the election. We now know what's happening there. As we go into 2025, what are you expecting for this industry and things that you have your eye on in terms of trends to watch out for?
Well, it relates to MSP Beans, but October 2025, I think it is Windows 10 kind of dies. So all MSPs should be really busy. And I see a lot of work for MSPs. I'm very encouraged by at least the short-term prospects. 2025 is going to be a heck of a year. And so we expect to be, part of that.
That's awesome. And with MSP Beans, do you have goals that you've set either around number of businesses to help or key performance indicators like monthly recurring revenue or annual recurring revenue? Tell me about your goal setting for MSP Beans.
My goal setting for MSP Beans is much more about QoS, quality of service, than it is the number of clients or the revenue. I want to ensure that we're delivering, frankly, the same level of service we deliver to your company to the rest of our clients. And so that it really involves hiring good people. We're in that process, but they have to be vetted and tested. So that I actually think is going to throttle our growth a little bit, but I'd rather grow slowly than overpromise. I'd like to underpromise and overdeliver.
Well, that's awesome. Rick Rudolph, thank you for joining the show.
Always a pleasure, sir. That.
You've been listening to Talk Tech with Rob Scott, brought to you by Monger. Monger is the first mover in providing contracts-as-a-service solutions specifically designed for IT managed service providers. Their SaaS-enabled legal solution is based on industry-leading templates, customized for each client, and periodically updated to ensure that MSPs always have the latest protections and are legally compliant. For more information, visit monger.com. That's MONJUR.com.